Akademiks can't ride no wave
like this. I'm a little bit too yeah, okay. Yo, did y'all see this, bro? YBC Dul killer got arrested. Yo, Philly is ridiculous. So apparently there was a 16-year-old teen that was charged with the murder of YBC Dul. Apparently he's also charged with other shootings and possibly other murders. So YBC Dul, if you don't know, was a 24-year-old rapper out of Philadelphia. He went by the name of Mr. Disrespectful. That was a pseudonym. His rapper name was YBC Dul. After doing a viral interview, he was gunned down in a car. And people wondered what the hell happened. And come to find out, prosecutors are now announcing charges on Friday against a teen accused of several deadly shootings, including the highly publicized murder of a local rapper. The guy's name is Aiden Waters. He's 16 years old. He's accused of shooting 25-year-old Abdul Vix to death in broad daylight on a North Philadelphia street last month. Okay? Now, Vix is believed to be involved in a street gang called YBC, obviously by his name, YBC Dul, stands for Young Bag Chasers, and was publicly known by his rap name, YBC Dul, as I just said. In light rain near a basketball court, it was reported he's charged, the teenager, with the killing of 2 and wounding others as a part of a shooting group. What? Wait, hold on. I gotta read this again. Ain't no fucking way. In a light rain near basketball court in Only, D.A. Krasner reported he's charged the teenager with killing of 2 and the wounding of others as a part of a shooting group known as Fast Break. Larry Krasner, which is the DA, said, a small group of young people in the city of Philadelphia decided to hold a gun, point a gun at another human being, and pull a trigger. Investigators say on August 23rd, Vix and another person were driving on the 5500 block of North 6th Street around 3:30 p.m. when another car pulled up next to them at a red light and 2 shooters opened fire. Vic was struck in the chest and hand and driven by his passenger to the Albert Einstein Hospital, where he died. The alleged murder of Vix is just one in a series of shootings that Waters is believed to be linked to. Investigators believe days before the killing of Vix, Waters fired into a car carrying multiple teens in Olney, killing a 16-year-old and injuring another. Waters' alleged violent rap sheet, this is like the real TK, oh my God, also includes a double shooting a day earlier. So he was on, this boy was about to get a UAV. I ain't gonna lie to you, like no funny shit. This boy clearly, he did 3 shootings back-to-back days. I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta get, with all the right guy, love weapons, love guns, all that shit, but I'm also a law and order guy. You did 3 shootings in 3 multiple counts of murder for each of the deadly shootings and faces a number of other violent offenses, include attempted murder, aggravated assault, and gun charges. Assistant District Attorney Sidney Pope says it's clout chasing. What the hell? Ain't no way the district attorneys talk about clout chasing. What the hell? I've never heard like a government official, like a lawyer, which an assistant district attorney, ADA, is a lawyer, says it's clout chasing. That's what we call it. It's one everyone calls it, looking for notoriety, looking for making a name for yourself. That is kind of crazy, and I'm wondering if they're saying it was chasing clout, I'm wondering if he got killed, maybe rather than there was actual beef and retaliation, beef ongoing between those people, which was kind of unlikely. If you're 25, why would you be, or 24, why would you be beefing with a 16-year-old? That doesn't make sense, right? So I'm guessing they probably didn't have direct beef, like person to person, but maybe there was gang to gang. I don't know. However, the district attorney, assistant district attorney, for listening to them, it says clout chasing. I'm wondering if, quote unquote, Mr. Disrespectful gaining a name in the city of Philadelphia of being so disrespectful and being the top guy that incentivized other people to kill him. Now, this is where that dude Brandon Buckingham comes in. And by the way, Brandon Buckingham, you're lame. Nobody wants to talk to you. You see the whole culture like crushing on you. That's why me and you can't go back and forth. Anyway, I will say this, and I was trying to give you game more than trying to beef with you, but you're an arrogant white prick, I could tell. So let me put you on game with this. it wasn't until the war in Chirac ended that I understood, and I sat with Lil Reese, and I understood his side when he said, Act, yes, the Grim Reaper name is a dope name. Like, I eventually used it in some musical form. But what you also have to know, when you call me the Grim Reaper, it makes the rest of the city feel like I'm the top guy and the untouchable. And for all of these guys who either ain't rappers or whatever, I become a target. And obviously that was not my intention. I didn't want to do it. But after growing and learning and speaking to these guys years after, again, I was doing that mostly when I was like 23, 24. Now I'm 30. You speak to these people and you're like, okay, I understand why my video or my War in Chirac series could have made you more of a target. Do you understand? So when you hear Sidney Pope, the ADA, says it's clout chasing, if you think your viral video of walking around the hood with a guy who's saying he's the toughest in Philly, never been shot, never been nothing, niggas don't want it with him, he's Mr. Disrespectful, nobody. If you think your video, again, I'm never blaming you for a murder. Just like I don't think it was fair for anybody to blame me for any murders in Chicago either. And I'm keeping the same energy with you. Here's the point. The most important thing to understand as a byproduct is that, and I listened to one of this dude's videos trying to like deflect. He sounds like me if I was making a video at 23. Like, except I think he's like 30. He's like pretty much like my age now. So it's like, bro, you don't even have the side of, oh, okay, I'm like 22, 23. I'm making content, but I don't know the ramifications. Bro, you're a grown ass man. You know what I mean? You're a grown ass man at this point. The point of what this district attorney is saying is that in a city like Philadelphia, and this is why I would never do they asked me to do war in Jacksonville. I wouldn't do it. Even though I acknowledge with Chicago, I could have done it better. So I could have took all the things that I could have done better and went to Jacksonville with it, but I'm not going to do it. And that's why I wouldn't do it with Philadelphia neither. And that's why I didn't and wouldn't do it with the Bronx. Actually, I spoke out about that. Because what happens is the clout chasing, right? You're giving attention to a guy who's bragging about murdering or shooting other people, and you think other people aren't saying, well, look at his reputation. What would my reputation be if I do something to him? Again, I don't think that dude is responsible for murder, but you have to understand where your influence comes in, right? And if you understand that influence, not saying he shouldn't do videos about these places, but you'll handle it with a little bit different care, right? So you have the assistant district attorney saying it's clout chasing. Yes, they're watching some of these guys go up on interviews just bragging about being killers. And this 16-year-old or 14, well, however this kid was, actually 16-year-old, he's like, fuck it. If y'all think he the toughest nigga while I done shot, and think about this guy who's now charged, this team. He killed multiple other people, probably more people, not trying to compare alleged murders, probably more people than YBC Dul, did probably more shootings than YBC Dul. For him, his life was already on a crash course. If he's seen on this, the most disrespectful guy, the craziest guy in Philly is this one guy who's a killer named YBC Dul, he's like, man, I'll knock that nigga off. The fuck are you talking about? He's the biggest killer, nigga. I done killed mad niggas. You get what I'm saying? Again, still, never putting blame on the YouTuber for someone dying. But, we have to realize that these situations do all culminate and affect circumstances, okay? Prosecutors said the guns used in the killings were illegal and one had a switch installed. Yeah, I won't play the video of the surveillance video that showcased the death of YBC Dul, but with with how quickly it felt like multiple shots were emptied out in that car and how quickly they drove off made it seem like, I keep telling y'all, Philadelphia is the home of switches. It says allowing for multiple shots with one squeeze of the trigger. Prosecutors are urging parents to search their children's rooms for guns. This is such a sad statement. Yo, we gotta pray for Philadelphia, man. We have to pray for Philadelphia. Um, Eventually later, I'm gonna try to have a conversation, and I'm pretty sure again it's not gonna take me to do this because these are people who are from there. But I've talked to Gillian Wallow about the violence in Philadelphia. Man, they told me, and this is before Gilly even lost his son. He was telling me about just how the situation was just so crazy in Philly, and I do believe some of the initiatives, while there are negative role models who are still perpetuating or promoting gun violence, you do have people like Gillian Wallow who are from Philly who I believe are promoting a lot of positivity. And, maybe they could work with some of the local on the ground, boots to ground people who are, trying to encourage changing that narrative and mindset of some of these kids, and maybe some, inner city after school programs and other, peace initiatives could probably help curb this violence because this is out of hand. Now, granted, I do think the worst part of this is the fact that kids are doing it, right? Like, usually when kids are into this type of stuff, they're not giving a fuck about what a Wallow and Gilly are saying. They're just in their own world, and it's hard to really relate to the kids. These kids are listening to drill music. They're only already tuned into ignorant shit. So they're not going to listen to some, oh, yeah, you're a positive role model, but you're 40. Nigga, fuck out of here. You're a positive role model, but you're 30. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So that's also a hard thing. They're not even listening to their parents. Anyway, Assistant DA, which is another ADA, William Fritz asked parents to recover the firearms that are in your houses, the basements, and under the rafters, call the police, and tell them you've recovered a gun in your house. At 16, Waters is likely to spend much of his life in prison if convicted, while a city council member calls for early intervention for teens like him. Anthony Phillips, who represents the 9th District, said we need to find a way to get a hold of these clout chasers, these young people who are doing things just to be noticed. That's another thing about, even covering certain things is like, it gets to a tricky part, at least for me, when the music and the violence meets, where you would normally cover this person's music, but then there's violence also associated. I try to stay away from people who they have a lot of violence, but the music isn't popping, right? So it's like, if I wouldn't be talking about your music without acknowledging the violence, maybe I shouldn't want to speak to you, right? Now, granted, if you have 3 songs on a billboard, say you're King Von, and then you're really doing some shit, it's kind of hard not to like speak to, because you're affecting hip hop. Anyway, lastly, and this is my personal opinion, and y'all can reject this, and it's fine if y'all do. But I do want to tell y'all what I think about these situations. I don't think I really identify heavily with either, probably. But what we should understand is that there's a loophole. If you live in many communities, I'm telling you, these 16 and 17-year-olds are doing the crimes that you would think adults would do, but the adults are programming them or sending them on missions, whether it's through gang, brainwashing or whatever, or just offering them money, or them understanding what the laws are. Hey, the law says A, B, C, and D. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And yo, again, when you have a second chance act, it's supposed to be a pure thing with an honest mistake. No, these people know what it is. Like, for example, right? Did I ever tell you the story that some bum ass niggas they tried to steal my Lambo, right? And from what the police said, and they reviewed the surveillance tape, the adults were in the car. They sent the kids to come on to the property, right? Now, here's the thing. And this is why I remember when, obviously, also another situation where niggas try to break in, but they were just crash dummies. Here's how smart the people who try to steal the cars, because that wasn't even targeted just me. They were just trying to steal all cars everywhere, right? Not only do they send the kids to do it, in places like where I live, pussy places, if a gun isn't brandished, now they have a gun, but they won't ever take it out. They'll have their hand in their thing the whole time, no matter what. Why? There's Ring cameras, there's all type of camera. The moment a gun is brandished, because my state is not a gun-friendly state, it brings it from level this to this. So here's the thing. They're smart enough that every time they go do some shit, they be having a gun on them. They never pull it out. Ever. Right? Why? If they ever get caught, they get released the same day. There's no gun involved. It's just seen as a 16-year-old trying to steal a car. Nobody cares. It's a 16-year-old. They get go to some juvenile shit, they get released the same day. Now, if they steal your car, they break your shit, then nobody gives a fuck. So they know how to play the system where the laws, and play it within the parameters of the laws that they could get in the least amount of trouble. That's where my problem is with the Second Chance Act goes. A lot of these kids, or the people who are setting up these kids, they know the law and how to break it, that they're going to fall underneath all of the statutes, that they're going to get a slap on the wrist. You get what I'm saying? So when you realize that they're taking advantage of you having a weak law, you got to get rid of the law. Unfortunately for the people, let's say the kids who actually did make a mistake, let them go to a parole board hearing, and maybe a parole board could grant him, like, some type of, relief. But you have to change the rule, because if the general rule is we give a slap on the wrist, like, for example, where I live at, it's only teens that steal car. But all the rings that's ran, the car theft rings are ran by adults. The adults never goes to grab the car. They're never seen in the car. The car just gets dropped off at a location, and they wait a couple days. So you get what I'm saying? So, bro, it's like they're playing the system. You can't be that dumb in terms of lawmakers to be like, yo, the older niggas and the kids know the law, so they're playing the law. You gotta adjust the rules. So I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put them niggas in jail, bro. All of them, bro. I don't give a fuck. Okay. Great. Annalie Chopper, we got the YBC Dul thing. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So they said there's multiple people who fired the shots. We don't know who the other person is. And by the way, it's clear that they're going to try to charge him as an adult, because usually in cases like this, they do not usually give out the name of the minor, but they did in this situation, right? Okay, we will see what happens with that. A couple other things that I seen popping off. We'll get to the Rich Homie Quan thing in a second. Shout